I'm going to tell you something that made me feel genuinely sick when I first worked it out. We were about 18 months into running our NDIS provider business. Things felt fine. The claims were going through and money was definitely landing in the account. Everyone was taken care of. Nobody was calling us to complain. And then I did a proper audit of our billing, not because anything was wrong, but just because I'm that kind of person, and I found the damn errors. Not one or two were being claimed against the wrong support category, travel claimed at the wrong rate, and a cancelled shift that still got claimed. And here's the part that really got me. Some of it was in our favor, some of it was against us, but all of it was wrong. And if the NDIA had looked at that data the way I was looking at it, we would have been having a very uncomfortable conversation. Hey guys, I'm Camille DG, veteran nurse with over 20,000 clinical hours, former NDIS provider owner and COO of SpecereShift. And I'm not here to scare the shit out of you. I'm here to tell you what I've found in my own business and what I've seen repeated across almost every provider business that I've worked with when I've consulted them. So because some of these errors are probably sitting in your own claims right now, by the end of this video, you're going to know the 5 most common billing errors, why they happen, and exactly what it takes to stop this from happening. So let's get into it. In 1, let's talk about why NDIS billing is so hard and can go wrong or goes wrong. Before I get into the specific errors, I want to talk about why this happens, because most NDIS providers I've spoken with, they've had billing problems. They're not even careless. They're not cutting corners. They genuinely tried to get it right. The problem is structural. NDIS pricing, it's not simple. They've made it that way. You've got 15 support categories, all registration groups inside those categories. The time of the day, rate variations, the weekday, the evening, the Saturdays, Sundays, public holidays, and some of those shifts across the 8 p.m. mark. Mid-shift, which means a single shift can span 2 different rates. So you've got the support ratios as well. The travel rules with the caps, the short notice cancellation conditions, and in most NDIS provider businesses, the information you need to bill correctly is sitting in 4 completely separate places. I'm talking about the roster, the timesheets, the participant plan details, and whoever's doing data entry on that day. So when those 4 things don't talk to each other, errors don't happen occasionally. They happen constantly, and at scale. That's not a discipline problem. That's a design problem, as I have mentioned before. And once you understand that, you stop being surprised by the errors that exist, and you start asking a different question. How many do I actually have? So in section 2, let's talk about the 5 errors that I have seen in almost every provider business. All right, 5 errors. I've seen every one of these in real providers, so let's go. Error 1, wrong support category for the service delivered. The NDIS has 15 categories of support worker delivering assistance with daily activities claimed under improved daily living, which is a therapeutic support category. That's a misclaim. Even if the dollar amount looks identical, matters because it creates an inconsistency between what's funded in the participant's plan and what's actually being claimed against it. And in providers doing 200 or more shifts a month manually, I see this in roughly 5 to 10% of claims. And that can add up real quick. Error number 2, the incorrect time of day rate that's been applied. Shift that starts at 7:45 p.m. might need to be split. Rate for the portion before the 8 p.m. hits, then the evening rate after that. So manual rostering systems almost never do this correctly. I've reviewed one provider who was underclaiming evenings, leaving legitimate money on the table while simultaneously overclaiming on a Saturday rate category. Both are wrong in opposite directions. They're not intentional, but they're both a problem. So error number 3, cancel shifts billed incorrectly. The NDIS does allow claiming for short notice cancellations, but the rules around the notice periods, documentation requirements, and claiming ratios are precise. So providers regularly claim cancelled shifts without adequate documentation of why the short notice happened in the first place, or they claim beyond the permitted ratio. And this is the one that looks worse during audits, because without proper documentation, it can appear intentional, even when it absolutely wasn't. Error number 4, full and non-face-to-face time overclaimed or even underclaimed. So the NDIS allows claiming for providers to travel under specific conditions with specific caps. Now, what I see most often is inconsistency. Some workers log in, others don't, and with no systemic rule applied across the whole organization, the underclaiming costs you real revenue, guys. The inconsistency itself is what flags during an audit. You can't have the same type of shift being billed 12 different ways and expect that to look clean. Error number 5, no support claimed at the 1-to-1 rate or community participation delivered in a 1-to-2 or 1:3 ratio has got to be claimed at the divided rate. But in a lot of manual systems, the roster and the billing aren't even connected. So the person doing the billing doesn't even know that was a group session. So they claim it at the full 1-to-1 rate. 2 participants in 1-to-2 session claim that the full rate is 100% overclaim on that session. And at scale, this error compounds frighteningly fast. So 5 errors, all structural, all common, and it's all fixable. But once, only once, you know where they're at. So section 3, what a billing error pattern looks like to the NDIA. Here's what I want you to really pay attention to. So 1 billing error is a mistake. The same billing error appearing across 40 claims over 6 months is a pattern, and the NDIA uses these data analytics to identify exactly those patterns across every provider in the system. Now, I want to be clear about something here. The providers who end up in the most serious situations and trouble aren't always the one who tried to do the wrong thing. They're often the ones with the manual systems that created these consistent errors to begin with, consistently, systematically, across months of claiming data. Because from the outside, a systemic error looks identical to systemic fraud, right? And the NDIA doesn't know your billing processes. They just look at the data. A desk audit becomes a full-blown audit, and a full-blown audit means back claiming, potential repayment demands, and in serious cases, registration consequences. And here's the thing about audits that people don't fully appreciate. They don't get it. The stress alone is significant. The distraction alone is significant. Now, I've spoken to provider owners who went through audit processes that consumed weeks of their time, their team's time, their mental bandwidth, and even when they came out the other side, to be found clean. So prevention isn't just cheaper than recovery, categorically easier. Now, section 4, what a clean billing system actually requires. So what does it actually take to get billing correct? Because I'm not here just to tell you that it's broken and what's broken. Clean billing system has 3 conditions, not tools, but conditions. So first, the roster and the billing have to be connected. If the person billing doesn't know what was delivered and when and at what ratio and against which support item, they're just guessing. And guessing NDIS billing is how you get into serious issues. Second, the rate rules have to be applied automatically, not by a person's memory. Somebody should not be making a judgment call every time a shift crosses the 8 p.m. threshold. That should be a rule in the system that just fires without the human input. Documentation has to happen at the point of service delivery, not reconstructed later on. Cancelled shift, the reason, the notice, timestamp, the participant contact record, that needs to exist at the time that it happened, not when an auditor asks for it. Now, when those 3 conditions do exist, the 5 errors described mostly stop happening, not because people got more careful, but because the system stops letting those errors through. That's the difference between hoping your billing is clean and actually knowing that it is. And that's exactly the infrastructure we built into SpecereShift, because I knew from the inside exactly where manual billing breaks, and I needed it to be solved at the source, not caught after the fact. If you've been listening to this and quietly running through your last few months of claims in your head, that's worth acting on. So copy the link in the description, sit into your browser and see if you and your team qualify for our 14-day free trial. We'll look at your actual claiming setup through where the exposure is and show you exactly what connected billing looks like in practice, with full human support the whole way through, by the way. And you might even get me on the call. Drop a comment below. Tell me which one of those 5 errors you've seen in your own business, or if there's one I missed that's been costing you. I do read every single comment and I'll give you a straight up answer. Hey, if this was useful, share it with another provider or forward it to whoever manages your billing, because the more of this sector understands where the risk actually lives, the cleaner everyone operates. And that's better for the providers, better for the participants, and a whole lot less stressful for the people actually running these organizations. And till the next video, you guys, keep on kicking.